is when I say, oh, my parents are from Georgia, people are like, oh, from the US.
You learned Italian in 1 month.
I was like, I want to understand what they're talking about.
You need only gestures, no? But
I know what this is. I'm like, guys.
So for you, fluency would be being able to have deep conversations?
Yes.
What do you mean deep? You're basically saying adults are stupid. There is this idea that when you speak a foreign language abroad, it's like a private secret code. You can judge, you can comment without anyone understanding what you're saying. Could you walk me through a situation when it happened to you, that you spoke it and you thought no one understood and then actually...
Yes, I think it happened actually a couple of times. I don't know, like for example, it would happen that I would be, say, with my friends or with my family and we would be speaking like our language, and then people are sitting next to us in a coffee shop, for example, and then at some point, you know, they're silent. For example, they're a couple and they're like keeping silent.
Like listening a little bit like, okay, is this a Georgian or what?
Exactly. Like you would think, oh, nobody understands Georgian. But then at some point, like, they start living and they say something to each other and it's in Georgian. And I'm like, oh my God. So they've literally just understood everything that we've said, you know, and that happened like more than once, like a couple of times with Georgian. No, once it also happened with Russian. And then once it happened with Italian. And every time, so with Georgian it happened in Milan, with Italian it happened in London, but then obviously I was not surprised.
Okay, what were you saying? That's what I want to know. Not it happened in, what were you saying?
I think my friend was telling me about like her date, like, and there were a lot of different details, you know.
But like details?
Like details.
Okay.
So,
but how do you know they understood? They said something. Oh, so I'm jealous or something, you know?
No, they were together, and so they were like keeping silent. But then at some point, they said something to each other when they were about to leave. They kind of had to say it, and they were both speaking the language, and we were like, "Oh my God," you know?
Wow. And what was with Russian? Because I assume it was Italian. What was in Russian?
The Russian one, I actually don't remember what we were talking about.
But something offensive. Did you say any, like, something actually offensive or something like commenting on someone's outfit or anything? And on like...
Okay, yes. I think it happened once, like... let me remember. Like rude about somebody. I think it might have happened about somebody like who was being a bit like rude to us. We saw it and we were like, oh my God, this is so rude. Like she's being so rude. And we said that in the language and then she understood. Yeah, that happened once. But like never happened that I would like say like something really bad about like a person that was there that I don't know and then they turn out to be from that country. No, that I think never happened.
Did you regret it?
That time? No, because she was just being rude. So I was like, yeah, I mean, I can just say that in English as well, you know?
I remember, I think it was also in Russian, I think.
Okay.
Because people, for some reason, they don't assume I speak Russian. And also in Ukrainian as well.
Okay.
And I just looked back and I always speak back. I'm like, you think I didn't understand? Blah, 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 blah. And I go violent. But it's just me.
Can you give me an example of how you went violent?
No, I think we were in a bus and someone was talking about me standing in some way or me standing in some way and me were wearing some kind of like a coat or something.
Okay.
And like, why do you judge how I look? I mean, I also judge. I'm Slavic, yeah, let's be real.
Let's be real here.
But still, I was like a bit... So why did you say that I'm this, and then blah, 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 you know? We have a little language game. Okay. The goal is to confuse me as much as you actually can. You will be speaking all of the languages you know. You can also make up a language. You can mix them a little bit. You can speak, let's say, Italian accent. I have to remember everything. So this is the most terrible part. I know for all of the 3 episodes I've been through, it's terrible.
Girl, but you know half of the languages I speak, literally. You'll understand everything. Where should I start? Oh my God. Auf Deutsch, was weiß ich nicht, was ich sagen kann. Du kannst Deutsch. Du sprichst Deutsch sehr gut. Never mind.
Yeah. Ich spreche Deutsch.
Ich spreche Deutsch. That good.
You're making it easy. Just don't so like confuse me, you know? You don't know.
Okay. Ეხლა ქართულად ლაპარაკობ. მაგრამ ქართული ენა არ გესმის. Ამიტომ უკვე იცი რომ ქართული იქნება ეს. В общем, я думаю, это было понятно. Это сейчас тоже понятно. Очевидно.
Возможно, понятно, возможно, нет.
Возможно, нет. Cru que tu es une chica merveilleuse. mais
This I don't have to understand already when I hear
ça.
I know.
Que je comprends pas. Est porque tu ne hablas le idioma que je suis hablante ahora.
What was this like last snake? Okay, no, don't tell me. First one, obviously English or with Russian accent, please. Come on. Be serious. Second one, I forgot. It was the weird one. Yeah, so it was Georgian. It sounded like Armenian though.
I literally said, this is the weirdest one, you don't understand it, that's how you know it's Georgian. That's literally what I said.
Of course, that's a good point. Then, no, you started with German. This like, of course, this
Yeah,
German.
I was like, you know German.
So you were speaking German, but I don't remember the sequence. You see, this is the problem. I may know the languages, but I will never remember in which way.
I know that you're guessing it
So
right there.
English, German,
Yeah.
Russian. No, English, German, Georgian, Russian, and whatever snake that was. It was French or Italian or Spanish.
What do you think it was?
No, you started French. How do they recognize? Like this is how they speak because they smoke. And then I don't know.
So I was trying to do Spanish with a French accent.
Can you do it now?
Let me remember. Yo no entiendo, vale. Je no entiendo. You know, it's really hard to like think in Spanish, but speak with a French accent because I want to then say something in French. Let me try again. Je ne comprends pourquoi tu ne hablas
That sounds so bad.
l'idioma que je estoy hablando. So I'm literally saying, yo no entiendo por qué tú no hablas el idioma que yo estoy hablando ahora.
Okay, no.
Which literally means, I don't know why you don't speak the language I'm speaking now, Spanish.
Wow. I mean, it's so confusing for your head. There is my friend, he's called multilingual Matt, and he does it perfectly when he just changes when he speaks Arabic with German accent.
Amazing.
And I cannot wait to have him here. So he's going to be like, he'll confuse me as crazy. Or like Italian with English accent is funny. Can you do it?
Italian with English. Certo, io lo posso fare l'italiano con un accento inglese. Io penso che
It's not so bad.
it's my like, favorite Italian accent.
How does your personality change when you speak those languages?
So I think in English, German, and French, I'm kind of the same. But then in Russian, Georgian, Italian, Spanish, I feel like I'm more emotionally open.
In Russian?
Yes, I know. It's really weird, right? But I don't know. Because
How does it sound? You say, я тебя люблю?
You say, no, it's more about like how you talk, like how you express your emotions. It's not like how it sounds, maybe. It's just like how you express your emotions, what words and what expressions you use to express yourself. So I feel like I'm more expressive in those languages.
Why is it?
Italian and Spanish, I think, because they are expressive, and then Georgian and Russian, I think, because they're my native languages and I am expressive. I don't know.
That's interesting because I get where you're coming from, because in some languages, let's say in Polish, I'm like crazy serious. I know all of the technical things. I'm like, you do this, I do this, you do this, very serious. When it comes to Russian, I prefer to use love language because all of these like, я тебя обожаю, all of that, I love it.
Okay.
And it just reminds me of childhood, every single thing.
But do you have equivalents of that in Polish? I guess you do.
Yeah,
right?
we have, but it just sounds too harsh.
Really?
Like я тебя обожаю in I want to say in Ruski. In Russian it's like, as I said, like, but in Polish it's ja cię uwielbiam cię. It sounds a bit Czech. I don't know.
I don't know, but then like if it's your native language,
I just don't feel it. But I thought when it comes to openness, you're more open in Spanish, you would say. Is it something that maybe in some languages you're more shy?
I think it depends on how well you know a language. I feel like you can't express yourself fully in a language that you don't speak well enough. So that's why it kind of might seem a bit more like shy, as you said, maybe. What do you think? Do you agree? Okay,
because, for example, what comes to my head is, and I remember we spoke about it before, is Italian.
Yeah.
Because in Italian, you told me that you can speak with gestures, so you don't need an
Yeah.
actual language.
Yeah, I know. In Italian, like you can express yourself like any way you can, basically, like with your hands, with your face, with the words, like everything. Yeah, obviously, yeah, I do agree that there are some languages where you are less kind of shy, more like open, just because the language allows for more ways of expressing yourself.
I want to start a topic about the UK and
Okay.
London.
Yeah.
Why did you move there? Are you planning to live there for your whole life?
So I moved here for work a couple of years ago, just like randomly found a job, and I was like, yeah, okay, let's do it. And I had never been to London before, so it was quite a crazy move, I would say, but I'm liking it.
When did you move?
More than 3 years ago already. So
Only 3 years. I thought
Yeah.
you lived here like 10.
no, yeah, like 3 years and something ago. Yeah. And I was like, okay, yeah, I've always wanted to work like in an international environment, and I could speak the languages
Yeah.
that I know in that job. And now in my current job, I can also use all the languages. So that was like a huge thing for me. And I was like, yeah, finally, I can like work for different countries from London. So yeah, that was why I would say.
And London is a good environment for that because there are so many people speaking different
Exactly.
cultures.
Exactly.
You literally can speak to one person, they speak Tagalog, and then another one speaks, Maltese, or,
Yeah,
know?
like you never know. Literally, that's why you can't have a secret language in London, because like any
That's
language,
true.
someone
And you
would
never know
understand.
now. Yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah.
Because if you move, I wouldn't expect, let's say in Bulgaria, if I
Yeah.
in Bulgaria suddenly speak during the winter season Italian, I don't think people will understand. So it depends also on the country, but
Yeah.
it's so overwhelming. I wouldn't know if, let's say, I was saying actual bad things about someone in a language, and then they would understand. I don't know what I would say, how I would react. Because it's so convenient, especially in London. No, in London, I just speak with my husband. I just speak Polish, and we just keep going sometimes. So, and we know people don't understand, even though in the UK, in London, there are so many Polish people, but we just ignore the fact. What about your background? Because you're Georgian, you're not mixed. You're just not Georgian Russian. You're Georgian, but you grew up
In Moscow.
in Moscow.
Yeah, so my parents are fully Georgian, but I was born in Moscow and I grew up in Moscow.
How does it look in Moscow? Are there many Georgian people there?
Yes, actually, I mean, it's so multinational that like there are people from all over, like, the Caucasus, like ex-Soviet Union. There are a lot of different ethnicities. So yeah, also a lot of Georgian people, but not as many as some other nationalities.
Also, what about when it comes to your background? Did it shape how you learned languages? Did it help you?
I don't know. It's hard to say because I have other friends that are also like, for example, like Georgian, or like, I don't know, like their parents are from Azerbaijan, from Armenia, but they live in Moscow. So they also like know 2 languages since birth,
a basic
but then
thing.
they're not really interested in languages. So that's it. Then they like
In more
speak-
languages, so
Yeah.
let's say learning Spanish or learning
They just
English.
like want to know those 2 languages. Then they learn English maybe, but then they don't learn any other languages. So I'm like, okay, I don't think it depends on whether you're bilingual or not. I think it's more like what you're passionate about. Like I've always been passionate about languages. I've loved languages, like at school and then at uni. So I really put like a lot of time and effort into learning languages, and that's why I think I learned them. Do you feel like your background kind of helps you, or do you think it's just like your effort?
Definitely background helps. It helps because I was born with Russian and Polish.
Yeah.
And my dad is also a polyglot, so taking that into consideration, he was always speaking to us in German, even though we didn't understand. And we were like, please speak to me in Polish, or speak in Russian. He kept going in like Amarinia, a language from Ethiopia. And we're just like, oh, stop. And he kept going. So knowing Polish and Russian, it really helps you with all of the Slavic languages, I would say.
Yeah, makes sense.
Because then
100%.
Polish, you have Slovak, Czech, I would say all of these type of languages. Then Russian, you have, of course, Ukrainian, Belarusian, then a little bit of Serbian. And then mix of that gives you Bulgarian, Croatian. So it really helps. I don't think there are any. There's no combination, like same combination, like Russian and Polish. Or let's say Ukrainian and Russian, you won't understand, let's say, Bulgarian. It won't come this easy, in my opinion. Or Slovak and Czech, you may struggle with Russian. Of course, some bits you will understand, but you can literally understand almost everything if it's Russian and Polish. Which is...
That's very interesting. Yeah, that makes sense because, like, you have like two like different but like similar languages. So like Polish helps you understand one group, and then Russian helps you understand the other group. Amazing.
Yeah. What is the best thing of knowing so many languages, by the way?
I think for me, it's being able to communicate with people in their native language. I just love it because they open up from a different side, I would say. You know, that's so interesting.
Do you have any example when it happened, when you realized, when you're so like, I love it, I need to keep doing it?
Yeah, I think with Italian, for example, I moved to Italy for my master's, and I didn't speak Italian. So at first, when I was speaking with the students, like we were connecting, but not like as well. And then after like being surrounded by Italians and like, you know, listening to them all the time and just like speaking all the time, like I learned it. Like after maybe 1 or 2 months, I started speaking.
Yeah.
And then I started like speaking with the same people in Italian. And oh my God, different people. Like their jokes were absolutely different. Like I could understand their sense of humor so much better. And like we could connect so much better. Yes, humor I feel like is a very important part. Maybe humor is actually key to that, like, you know, deeper connection when you understand the way they joke, why they joke like that, what the joke sounds like in that language. Yeah, I feel like that's really cool.
Yeah, and also what people say is, if they only knew me in my native language, how funny I am.
I know.
I have my bestie always sends me such memes, so I'm like, okay, but you can learn English and be funny, but in the English type of thing, no, it's not the same. No, but I understand.
True,
you can understand people deeply when it comes to humor and all of that situations.
Also, when you start understanding the cultural references, because jokes are very often based on them, then that's even cooler.
We're moving to hot shots now.
Oh my God.
So I have strong accent but confident, or soft accent but hesitant.
Strong accent but confident. Because I think confidence is key to learning a language, to be fair. Like if you speak with confidence...
But you have a strong accent.
But that's fine, because accent is about like what other people think about you. But confidence is about how you feel.
Mm-hmm. Makes sense.
So
okay, I understand.
Yeah, you know?
Learning more languages or perfecting all languages you know?
Learning more languages. Like I really want to learn Portuguese, for example.
Oh, Portuguese é minha língua. Keeping your original accent forever or slowly losing it? Like original, the hardest accent, like the most Georgian accent or the most Russian accent. Hello, my name is Tina. Forever?
No.
Or
Why?
slowly losing it and becoming like no accent person?
Yeah, slowly losing it, obviously.
Okay. I think she was a mistake here. Complimented on accent or complimented on confidence?
Confidence of speaking the language.
Of course, yeah.
Complimented on confidence.
So basically you're saying some nonsense. And then, wow, you're so confident with your speaking. You have like this confident
Well, but if you're complimented, then that means that you're doing something right, no?
Yeah, but they can compliment you on your accent.
Yes, but say I can say something in a perfect accent, but I can only say one phrase. Then it doesn't help me to communicate with people. If I maybe have an accent, but I'm doing my best to speak and communicate, so to actually bring the value of communication, I feel like that's more valuable.
Okay, I'm not questioning anything. Learning through chaos or learning through structure?
Learning through structure. I feel like, for example, with Italian, I told you that I started speaking like very fast, right? And that kind of seems like learning through chaos, but in my head, I still had a structure. I don't know how you can like become confident in constructing phrases if you don't have like a structure of like, this is the grammar rule, this is how the sentence should sound, this is like, I don't know, how this tense is formed, you know, you need some structure to it, I think.
You learned Italian in 1 month.
Yeah.
Tell me, it's a clickbait. It's not true.
No, it's kind of true, because basically I started like speaking with Italians in Italian after 1 month of being in Italy. And like before I didn't know Italian at all. But obviously I didn't start like working in Italian after 1 month. Of course, then after that month, I continued like practicing, improving, learning more grammar rules, learning more vocab. And then I also like learned professional vocabulary later. And only then I started working in Italian. But yeah, as for like just like talking to the students in my class, to my friends in Italian, yeah, I started after 1 month. I didn't really have a choice.
Started talking?
Yeah.
After 1 month?
Yeah.
Walk me through the whole process of learning at the very, very, very beginning, because a month is ridiculous. And you said, I started speaking.
So basically, how it happened, let me remember. So basically, I started living in the residence, in a student residence, right? And everyone there was speaking Italian. And of course they knew English, but like we would hang out, and at some point they would switch to Italian, and they would like joke in Italian, and I was like so mad. I was like, I want to understand what they're talking about.
You need only gestures, no? But
I know what this. I was like, guys. And then basically one day I was like, okay, I'm going to my room. I'm not studying mathematics, economics, or econometrics, anything. I'm studying Italian, because that was like my course, and everyone was like so focused. I was like, no. I need to study Italian. So then I just went on YouTube, and like I found this guy that was who was explaining like basic grammar rules and like basic pronunciation rules in Italian. And I was like, okay, let's watch all of his videos. And I watched like all of his like basic grammar videos, like I think in one day. I was like obsessed. And I was like, okay, cool. Blah blah blah. I learned that, and then I was like, okay, the most important, like the most used colloquial phrases. And then I found that video. I think there were like maybe 2 or 3 of them. I watched them, and then I went to my Italian friends, and I was like, is it true? Do you say that? And then they were like, yeah, and we also say this with this same word, or like with the same structure. And I wrote that down as well. And then I just started like practicing those phrases with them. And then like maybe after like a week, I was like, guys, only speak Italian to me. And they were like, yeah, of course, easy. That's what we actually wanted to do. And basically, then they would say something. I would obviously not understand a lot of words, and I would obviously like have an accent, make mistakes, and so on and so forth. But they were very like nice and supportive. So I was like, oh, guys, what does this mean? And they were like, yeah, this means that, like. And they would like show me things, but they would explain in Italian. So I was like constantly
explaining.
listening.
So they'll see a little bit of English, and then
yeah, they were like, instead of saying a word in English, they would start explaining and showing me in Italian,
Oh, and like as a child.
Exactly. I feel like I learned it a bit like a child would, Yeah.
But it took you a month.
Yeah. Because like, again, every day I was listening to people talking, and every day I was like trying to practice with them.
And surrounded by natives as well.
Exactly. Yeah.
The most surprising thing I've heard.
Also, it's important to mention that I already knew Spanish and French.
Oh, okay.
So that helps, obviously.
It's important.
Because like, French grammar, Spanish vocabulary, mix them, and you kind of understand Italian, like how Italian is structured. Obviously, you can't really understand when people speak Italian everything, but then once you learn the colloquial phrases, once you learn a couple of like most used words and like how to structure your sentences, it becomes easier, obviously.
So they are similar, these languages. I notice people also say, okay, she is a polyglot. Not about you, but about many polyglots I see online. People comment, okay, but she speaks 5 languages, but these 5 languages are Romanian, Italian, Spanish, Portuguese, and what was else? And French.
I mean, to me, still a polyglot, because if a person can maintain a conversation, like a deep conversation in those languages, that means they actually like made an effort to speak each of them. Because one thing is to just like understand and know the words, recognize the words in written, and another thing is to be able to
actually reply.
Yeah, exactly.
So for you, fluency would be being able to have deep conversations?
Yes.
What do you mean deep?
I would say so. Like when it's not just like an everyday conversation, not like a small talk, but when you can talk about your feelings, your experiences, when you can have like a, friend to friend conversation kind of thing. Yeah.
What about your parents? Have you ever traveled with them? Because I also have had so many stories of people, and I remember us talking about that you're traveling with your parents and you're only the one who knows the language.
Yeah, obviously.
Did you have any funny, ridiculous stories with that?
It's just like every time we travel, they make me speak to people.
Unpaid translator. Okay.
Exactly. But then the thing is that they know English, for example, and they can communicate themselves. But if we're, say, in Italy and they're like, oh, but you know Italian, so like you have to use your Italian, like show them that you know Italian. I'm like, guys, just speak English,
Yeah. Describe also a situation where maybe speaking badly, because we're actually emphasizing that it doesn't matter if you don't have to speak perfectly. You just have to start speaking, because you start somewhere. So maybe walk me through a situation where speaking badly actually helped you
I
with
think
something.
the same was Italian, for example, because when I was starting to learn it, I was really bad. Like, obviously, I was making a lot of mistakes, but I feel like the attitude I had was everybody here knows that I'm not a native speaker, that I'm a foreigner, and that I don't know Italian. So if I say even like something, it will be fine. It will still be some progress. So I was just like, yeah, I don't care. I was like, let's speak.
So you're very chill when it comes to
Yeah,
languages.
but it depends, because I feel like at some point when you have expectations from yourself, you can become a bit scared. Like, say, if you used to know a language at a very high level and now you've forgotten a bit, like you might feel a bit self-conscious, you know? But when you're just starting, I feel like I have this thing that I'm like, oh, I'm just starting. Like, I know I'm just starting. I don't have to speak well, you know?
How to deal with the fact that it's good that you touched on that, but that you forgot a language, because you happen to forget languages. If you speak also 7 languages, it's impossible sometimes to maintain all of them every single
That's
day.
true.
And what do you do if you forget? Let's say you just go to Norwegia and you knew Norwegian in the past, you spoke it, let's say at C1, and now probably it's B2 or B1. Would you keep going in Norwegian, or for example, would you switch to English and just won't bother?
So if I actually go there,
Let's say you speak the language you used to speak.
yeah, say for example, I go there, I will, yeah, I think I will first, I might be scared and I might start in English, but then I think I will make myself switch to the language and like be really bad at it, but still like practice it, because otherwise there's kind of no point in going there.
Yeah. I also think every single time before I go to a certain country, I just practice basic sentences just to be able to say hello in the target language that I'm traveling, because what's the point?
I think it also depends on the people's reaction. Like, some people don't know English and then it's very easy with them because you kind of don't have a choice, right? But then some people are like, let's just switch to English, and then
Oh no, I hate that.
it puts you in a difficult situation.
But you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable as well when it comes to languages.
Yeah.
So
absolutely.
even if you forgot, in order to learn, you have to be uncomfortable.
100%.
Because then what? Like, how are you going to learn?
Exactly. That's why I always speak up.
Would you say apps make us more comfortable when it comes to languages? Does it help, or what's your take on language learning apps?
You know, I've never used apps.
Okay, so you learned everything without the apps.
Yes,
because now what people do is just they jump to apps.
I know, it's because all the languages I learned, I think I learned them when I was quite young. So it was at school, at uni, and then Italian. It was when I was in Italy. Yeah. I wasn't using it. I was using YouTube and I was using my friends. But I wasn't using apps. So now I think if I start learning Portuguese or any other language, I will use an app, but I just need to find like a good app. I haven't done my research yet.
I have a good one. It's because I use some apps, but I'm not saying you should focus on apps only, because of course focusing only on one thing won't give you anything beneficial. It has to be an app with something.
Yeah, obviously I agree.
Yeah,
100%.
You have to use it as an addition. It cannot be the only thing I'm only using app. I have a streak on Duolingo, which is the best. I love Duolingo. It's like for 3 years I have a streak. Some people are like that. And then, but there are actually apps that I love. I would recommend you app like italki, for example.
Okay.
It's the app where, it's not the app though, it's like a desktop thing where you just go there and you speak with teachers.
Okay.
So I prefer to speak with an actual teacher.
Is it like a language exchange, or like you have teachers there?
You have teachers, yeah. But there are different prices when it comes to that. So I've used it since the beginning of my language learning journey.
Oh, okay. Amazing.
And also the app, whenever you brush your teeth or something, I'm using also, there's this orange app, Mondly, I think. Yeah.
Oh,
it's good. It's good as well, because it now has some AI technology. It's nice. It's good.
Okay.
But I definitely explore apps, because to me, I like apps, but it depends. It depends, because it cannot be only apps as well. What do you think? Like, some people say, I prefer to only watch content and that's it. That's how I learn languages.
Yeah, I don't know. I need to explore it. Thank you for the recommendations. I'll look into those apps. I think that could be good because, it's like a routine and you can use them when you are doing your chores, for example, just like in your everyday life, when you don't have time to like go and like do some studying. So yeah, I think it's
it's good when you don't have time. When you're on the tube, of course, you won't be taking out your huge textbook in Greek and start. Okay, we're moving to my favorite part of this show. It's called opposition. Here is the box for you. You'll open it like that. And you'll pick one popular belief about language learning. You show it to the camera, you read it. And basically, I will disagree with everything you say. I'll be as annoying as possible. And you have to win the argument.
Subtitles always on.
Do you agree? Are you on a team subtitles always on or not?
Let me think about it, actually. I think subtitles should be always off.
Always off. How are you going to understand if they're not off? Of course, let's say I'm learning now Greek.
Yep.
I'm switching the Netflix show on. And there are no subtitles. I know no Greek. I won't know what are they saying.
Yeah, exactly. That's the point.
No, but like, I don't know. What do you mean is the point? I'll just make myself angry, then I'll switch off the Netflix show and I won't learn a language. What about that?
So I actually think that you should not have subtitles on because your brain, when the subtitles are on, is always reading. So your brain is not actually listening to the language. Whereas when the subtitles are off, your brain is listening as if you are surrounded by native speakers. And that's how you actually learn the language.
But I don't know Greek.
That's okay. So that's why I actually think that you shouldn't watch series or movies where like you really want to know what's going on there, you know. Maybe you can like pick up a movie that you've already seen, you're not really interested in what they're saying, but you're listening just for the sake of surrounding yourself with the language as if you were in that country.
No, okay, I cannot disagree. Sorry, it's hard. Pick another one. Pick another one.
I love this. Okay.
This one I think you won. For the first time.
Only learners, no natives. I have to convince you that only learners and no natives.
Yeah.
Guys, don't listen to me, but okay, let's try it. I mean, yeah, obviously you can't surround yourself by the natives because their language is too perfect and you'll get demotivated.
I disagree.
I know.
No, you need to be strong. I disagree because you need natives to learn a language. That's so easy.
You know what? You only need learners because you can like encourage each other and you can motivate each other, and basically you can share your learning experience. And a native will never understand what it feels like.
The experience, yeah? Yes. But they will understand the language and they will teach you the language. So you're losing. Yeah, okay, pick another one because this one
That's really bad. It's like really bad.
That's how I feel always. But I'm still winning with all of you.
Kids learn better.
Agree? Disagree? Let's make it harder.
I mean, when I was a kid, I don't remember what I was thinking, but I think it's true. I think kids learn better.
So you agree that the fact that kids learn better?
Yeah.
I disagree. Perfect. What do you mean? When you're a kid, you don't understand a language. You don't understand anything that they're saying. It's just plain words. If you're an adult, you though kind of understand structures. You already speak one language, so it's easier to learn another one because you already know something. If you're a kid, you don't know anything.
But if you're surrounded by a language as a kid, then it's easier to learn because you learn kind of subconsciously. Because you don't have a fear of making mistakes. You don't really care. You don't really know what's going on, and you are like surrounded by the language. Literally what we were saying about Italian.
It was a different story. I already forgot.
So like you're basically like surrounded by people, listening to them, so you just absorb all the information and you just start speaking perfectly well.
But you don't understand anything, so you will be just and without it's not a proper way to learn.
But that's how we learned our native languages.
But it took me really to speak fluently my language. It took me two languages at the same time. Yeah. It took me 5 years. No, maybe to speak to make sentences. Of course, at the beginning I was speaking Malako or like.
But you were like speaking before you were 5, no? Like you could speak.
But like speak, but how speak? Like mom, give me.
Ah, but that's fine. But that's like what children say. Also, you don't really say.
But it's not polite. We have to be polite, and But
then now you know them perfectly well because as a kid, like you absorb the language, and now you're like, okay, any new word, like it's easy, So adults
cannot absorb the language. You're basically saying adults are stupid.
They can.
That's what that's a quote of what you said.
But kids just learn better in the sense that they learn more. Like it's easier for them. Apps are enough.
Of course, you agree with that. Apps are enough. Yeah, I don't think apps are enough.
This girl.
I don't think apps are enough.
Apps are enough, obviously, because you don't have to listen to anyone. You don't have to practice speaking with anyone. You can just do everything with apps. You have AI functionality everywhere. You can speak to AI bots, and
But you need human connection.
No, of course you don't. And you also can learn all the grammar rules on apps and all the vocabulary you need. Apps are enough.
I disagree. I think you don't need apps. You don't need apps are not enough. You need a book, you need a teacher, and you need to stick to a book. I mean, actually, book only. This is my opinion.
Oh, okay, that's a bit too much, but but I think apps are much more advanced than books, and you can customize them.
I can customize a book with my pen.
Yes, but your pen is your own like train of thought, whereas apps customize what you want to learn, when you want to learn it, how you want to learn it, why.
Because apps are simply not enough. You need few things. Okay, app will develop one part of your brain, but you need a book. You need natives. That's what you said before, no?
Yes, but AI bots sound like natives.
But they're no human.
That's fine. You can practice with human after the apps.
What are the common misconceptions about Georgia? Because it changed a lot during the last 20, 30 years. And what would you say changed a lot?
Sorry, you asked me about misconceptions, and the first thing that comes to my mind is when I say, oh, my parents are from Georgia, people are like, oh, from the US.
Oh, but
Yeah.
you ask Americans only, yeah?
No. No, but even with other people, it might happen sometimes. Or another misconception is that Georgian language is very similar to Slavic languages, but it's not true at all. Like, it has a different alphabet. It's a completely different language. It's very hard to learn, to be fair. Yeah, those
To
two.
which language is it similar, actually? So it's just like its own category.
It's unique.
But most Georgian people, they speak Russian. That's why they probably assume it's
I think not nowadays, to be fair.
not nowadays. So this is the thing what changed.
Yeah, I mean, like the previous generations, they obviously speak Russian because, like, the previous generation, like, it was the part of the Soviet Union, right?
Yeah.
But, like, the new generations, they don't speak Russian anymore that much. Maybe some do, but it's not, like, a common thing.
So it's more English now focused.
Yeah, exactly. It's more like
I think
English
it's
and
more, it's the common thing for Slavic countries because when it comes to Poland now, Czech Republic, Slovakia, people just assume we also speak Russian, but now it's English at schools. There is no Russian. You can choose, of course, but you also can choose Spanish now.
Yeah, exactly.
Are there any other misconceptions? What do you answer, by the way, if they say, oh, Georgia is in the United States?
I
What
said,
do you
no,
answer?
it's in the country. And then they're like, oh. And they actually, sometimes they know it. Yeah, mostly they know it. But they're just like, their first thought is like, oh, the US. But it happened like maybe like 2 or 3 times. Usually people understand what I mean, obviously. Especially if I say I'm Georgian, then it's like clear.
What do you like the most about being Georgian?
What should I say? Everything.
Because it's different. You don't meet many Georgian people around. I've met probably you and few Uber drivers in Poland.
Okay.
No, but they're nice. I love them. They always opened up
Okay.
about their childhood trauma and everything. And I was just listening as a paying £5, converting to Polish 20 zloty. And I was just listening.
Oh my God, it's such a, like, I wouldn't say like Georgia is like exactly Eastern Europe. It's more like in the Caucasus, but like it's such an Eastern European thing to be like, talking about like your childhood trauma and things like that. Even if like it's just like a taxi ride. Do you like connect
Yeah.
like with
Or
nobody
just
else?
complain. Because what they were
Yeah.
doing also, they were complaining about how less they earned.
Okay.
And then they moved to Poland and they earned a lot. And they're like, oh, but the weather in Poland. And they kept complaining.
Okay.
So maybe this is the Slavic. Maybe that's because they take it for Slavic people.
I don't know. Yeah, but I don't know. What exactly do you want to know?
Not just what's special about Georgia. What's different? What makes you?
I feel like it's like the mentality is it's a very warm country. The people are very warm, very welcoming, emotional. I don't know. I just like this kind of culture, and maybe that's why I also like connect so much with Italians and like people from Latin America or like Spain, because I feel like we're quite similar in the sense that we're like very emotional,
Yeah.
welcoming, like warm. We love food. We have amazing food. Things like that.
Are you family oriented as well?
Yeah.
Georgian people.
Yeah, very familiar. Yeah.
Is it easy to learn Georgian? Let's say I want to learn it now.
It's really hard. Good luck. I can help you. It's okay. But it's a really difficult language. I feel like it's more difficult than Russian.
Really? What's the most difficult part about the
So
alphabet?
first of all,
alphabet?
Yeah, first of all that. So like basically writing and reading, I would say that's quite challenging because the alphabet is like nothing else. And then also the grammar, because the grammar it's quite tricky. Like you also have like different rules, like words change based on how you use them in the sentence and things like that, tenses and everything. It's just like a lot of stuff, but obviously nothing is impossible.
Of course. I'm delusional about my language learning goals.
I think you would nail it, so go ahead.
No. When was the moment when you realized that a language finally clicked for you, that you thought, okay, I got it? Because so many people are just stuck in a box thinking, I'm still learning. Do you speak this? No, I'm still learning. When is the moment when I know the language, I can speak it, I'm fluent? We spoke deep conversations, but is there any other way where you can recognize that?
I think that's the main thing. I would say, for example, for me, it's always like random moments when, say, I end up talking with a native speaker and I understand that we've been like, 20 minutes later, I'm like, oh my God, I've been speaking with them for 20 minutes in the language. Doesn't mean I've learned it, like I know it. Obviously, you can never say like you've learned it, because there is always room for improvement. There will always be words you don't know, things you like don't understand maybe.
Yeah.
But I think when you realize that you can handle a conversation with a native for like more than 15 minutes, you're like, yes.
What does it mean, hold a conversation?
Just any conversation without switching to English.
Give me a topic. For example, is it speaking about some medical stuff or speaking about a weather? But weather is also like small talk type of vibe.
Maybe more like a small talk, or like talking about your work or your life, say life in London.
But not small talk. How are you? You good?
No, not that kind of small talk. It's more, I would say more like, for example, say, I don't know, I went to France like ages ago, and like I was in a taxi and the taxi driver started talking to me in French, and he was just like, where are you from? Oh, where do you live now? Oh, like how do you find it? Blah 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 blah. And then he was talking about his own life, and whenever switched to English, for example. So it's like quite a basic conversation, I would say, but still, like when you understand everything he's saying, when you can respond in the language and like talk about yourself, that's how. But also, like if you are actually learning, say like, you can just like pass an exam, or I don't know, like, on the apps, like get some results.
Apps are the best. That's what you're saying.
Exactly. And you're like, oh, I kind of know it. But I think for me, the main thing is being able to speak. Like if I know the grammar perfectly, I can read, I can understand everything, I will still not feel that I've learned a language, that I know it, unless I can actually speak with a native.
At the end of each episode, I ask every single guest a question. The twist is that the previous opinion, because I ask a question, then I get an opinion from the guest, and I ask every guest about the best or worst language learning method.
Okay.
The twist is that the previous method doesn't come from me, but it comes from the previous guest.
Okay.
And the previous guest left this statement: the worst language learning method is trying to reach perfection in grammar and focusing on talking flawless instead of actually talking from the first day.
I completely agree with that. I think it's the worst method.
trying to reach perfection in grammar. Why?
Again, you need to start speaking before that. And I feel like you're just stopping yourself because you're a perfectionist and you're like, oh, I need to be 100% comfortable, no mistakes. Oh my God, what will they think if I make this mistake? No, you shouldn't care, because only by practicing you will stop making mistakes.
What's the best language learning method in your opinion? We'll leave it for the next guest, and then they'll hate you or agree with you.
I think that you need to surround yourself with a language. So basically just listen to it every time you have a chance. For example, I don't know, podcast in the background, or just like a movie, as we said, without subtitles. Speak to natives. Like if you like don't know any natives, just like try maybe speaking to yourself. Just like look in the mirror, have a conversation with yourself, like choose a random topic, maybe pick a text from a book and just like say it out loud, learn it by heart. Just like do everything to practice every single day and like listen all the time. Listen in the background. Even if you're not actively listening, your brain is still passively listening. So I think that's the most important thing. Surround yourself with the language.
Would you like to have to take a picture with me? Never mind.
Anytime.
You would like. Okay.